let's reevaluate tip culture. Not reevaluate, but explain a little bit more. I feel like we got a lot of response on that one, which is cool. It's awesome, right? A lot more positive to what we were talking about. And there's a couple people who are like, oh, you guys are part of the problem, not tipping. We're not tipping everybody. We're just not. Like we said, we're not going to tip the Amazon driver.
Well, yeah.
You know, it's like it goes like the convenience of having Amazon bring your package home to your house. Why would I want to tip? I might as well just go to the store then, if that's the case, right?
Well, okay, so what is it with like food delivery then? How is it any different? Someone's just delivering your food. You already charge a delivery fee, and you're expected to tip the pizza guy.
I tipped the pizza guy.
We all tip the pizza guy,
Right.
yeah. But now
Yeah.
it makes me think, how come I'm not tipping the Amazon driver? He delivered something to
Don't
me.
put that out in the world, dude. Now that's going to be a movement.
Just
Amazon.
like the pizza delivery guy, all he did was deliver my food to me, and he gets a tip. The Amazon driver, he delivers my goods to me. He doesn't get a tip, or
But
she, rather.
Amazon drivers drive an Amazon car.
No, they could also drive their own cars too as an
I do see
independent contractor.
some that don't, but you see a lot of Amazon electric bus things that they have.
Oh, they're making the routes?
Yeah, I see it
sure,
a lot
okay.
now. But in the beginning of Amazon, people were using their own cars. I'm just going.
They're still doing it.
If they're still doing that, then
Because we get a lot of Amazon packages, and I see it on my ring, like,
Oh,
hey,
and
who
they're
is
just
this
cars?
person? And then it's like, oh, you see their Amazon jump shoot, and they drop their
Wow,
stuff.
yeah.
Yeah, I mean, there's a mixture of both Amazon cars and just individual using their own car.
Yeah, I think Walmart uses their own cars.
Yeah, I mean, it's so my point. How come
That's a
we're
great
not?
point.
How come we're not tipping those drivers, the Amazon drivers, or the postman? Why is it? Because it's not food? What? I mean, I'm trying to understand the logic on this.
God, that's a great argument. That is a great argument because my whole train of thought was we always tip the food people, like
Well,
DoorDash.
okay.
Then you're going back to the DoorDash.
let's-
Like, why are you tipping
Let me-
DoorDash?
Before we get further, I just want to reevaluate the servers. Like, you're at a restaurant. The server is giving you a lot of attention. They're bringing in your drinks. They're taking away your empty drinks or refilling your drinks. They're bringing in your food. They're taking away your empty plates, giving you new plates, new silverware. Always asking you if you need anything else. Please let me know. You might ask something.
Yeah.
They bring it to you. The delivery driver, just one time, drops your stuff off, doesn't ask you if you need anything else, and they leave.
Yeah.
Right? That's
Same with pizza guy.
I mean, yeah, it's the pizza. So he delivers food, gets a tip. You're not delivering food, you don't get a tip. Is that the threshold? I'm trying to understand the logic in this.
It's great logic. I mean, it's great. I can't rebuttal that because I don't know if like I've always tipped the food delivery people. It's just like never even thought about it until the way you just said it. Like, why aren't we tipping people at Amazon and people that deliver your own stuff? Can you imagine though, like if you started tipping Amazon, like why wouldn't you? If I was an Amazon driver,
It could break out. You know,
like,
we could get to that point because everyone else is asking for a tip.
Yeah,
You go. Why are we tipping baristas at a coffee place, right? You go there, you ask for your coffee. You're waiting on them. They're not waiting on you.
yeah.
And they're like, okay, please sign here. And it has like tips. And it's like, well, why should I tip you? All you do is just take my order. Like, am I going to see you again after this interaction? Are you going to ask how I'm doing? Do I need a refill? Do I need something else? Are you going to throw this cup away from me? Like, what warrant the tip? Just one-time conversation?
There's no other service being done to you for that. Once you get your coffee filled, you're done.
You're done.
So I and people are gonna be mad. Barista, sorry, but why would I tip you for doing your job?
And our baristas, are they upheld to the minimum wage laws of like $2.13 an hour, or do they get the of service, or is it just still the minimum wage of
The minimum wage.
Okay,
But even that, like a lot of, I think 213 doesn't exist anymore in Arizona. I think it went up.
probably went to like $3.25 or something like that. I don't remember. It's been a
I think
while.
it went up to minimum wage. We got to research this because I was talking to someone about this, and they were saying, yeah, our minimum wage is minimum wage. I'm like, no way, because then you're making good money.
So minimum wages for tip employees. This is on U.S. Department of Labor.
Whatever your minimum wage is right there, like Arkansas is 11, that 837 plus 263 is that number. So I want
I see the math. So this minus this equals your minimum cash wage for tip employees. So in Arizona, It's $13.85 an hour,
Minus.
but minus $3 if you're a tip employee. So therefore, you're making $10.85 an hour. Is it okay? That makes sense.
Yeah.
But then, is that enough to
It's
cover
not.
your minimum
No.
minimum needs?
You got to get those tips.
Now, I mean, I made this argument like even if you provide good service, you still get a crappy tip, and if you provide bad service, you're almost guaranteed no good tips or any tips at all.
Well, the hard thing is if you're, and as a server back in the day, some countries don't believe in tip. Not that they don't believe, they're just not accustomed to tipping,
Most countries are like that,
right?
and a lot of them don't want tipping culture in their countries.
Correct. So then when you have someone from those countries, you give great service, you have great conversations, you find out where they're from, you tell them, hey, you should go try this place, you should go check out this place, and you have great conversations, and then you see you get zero. They don't tip you. Like, I've confronted people like, dude, it was my service bad? No, it was great. You're a great person, blah, blah. How come I didn't get a tip? Oh, we don't know what that means. Like, we don't do that in our country. Cool, but you're not in your country.
Is it up to, I mean, should you get mad at them? That's what I'm trying to understand. I'm torn on that. Like, should you get mad at them because of ignorance? Or maybe they're lying. They are from the country and they're just like, oh, we're playing it off like we're European or something.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, as a server, you have every right to question a zero tip.
I mean, I've worked in service industries at a restaurant, and it just sucks when you don't get a tip. Like, dude, I busted my butt off for this group of people.
Yeah.
And I got zero tip from like, this job sucks, man. How do people stay here?
But you got to understand, too, you're in a different part of your life where you're depending on those tips, right?
Well, that's the problem. You depend on the customer, not your employer for
Correct.
your financial needs. And I think that is the core of the problem.
Oh, 100%. Especially if you're a fine dining restaurant. And
if you're at any job, you're doing awesome and you have good evaluations, you should be able to negotiate your pay. But you can't do that at a restaurant.
Yeah, I got friends that are still servers. I'm like, dude, how do you make money? And then when you find out, oh, look at our menu, and they're making a ton of money. They have a Tesla, and you're like, fudge, man.
Well, here's the thing. Like, okay,
I have a buddy, 25 years as a server, same restaurant up in North Scottsdale. Just banking money.
That's good.
Great. It's great for him. I mean, him and his wife. I don't want to say his name, but dude, they're living their restless job.
That's great, but not all servers can say that.
Not all, but in his, like, I think it's a niche industry. They can, because they're all making money, right? Especially the ones that get the supreme shifts. Like, hey, I'm like, it's a closer shift at a nice restaurant. You're making the most money. You can definitely say that, but you're working at these nice steakhouses in North Scottsdale. You're making a ton of money, and you don't leave because you're like, where else am I going to make this kind of money? Where I'm coming in, it feels like Groundhog's Day. Same thing over and over. The only thing that changes is the seasons. Cool. Winter's coming. It's going to get busier. More people are coming. So hats off to them.
Yeah, but then like, what about the servers who work at like your IHOP, your Denny's or something? They're not making a lot of money in tips.
No.
They make okay, but it's not like something worth bragging about.
No.
And they have high turnover as it is.
But let's be honest. Some of those waitresses that work at, like, if you're a good-looking waitress, it's not your service. Some maybe, but some of the cases, like, you get some dudes come in there late night at Denny's after, going to the clubs and stuff. They see a hot waitress. They try to spit their game. They're going to tip high.
Maybe sneak in their number.
I have friends like that. Here you go, sweetie. Here's my number. And like, oh my God. And you see that with older men too. Like, people that have no shot, they shoot their shot and like, here's a big tip. I'm a big spender. Here's my number too, if you ever want to do anything. And then it's almost like the waitress is like playing with them, right?
Well, yeah, because they're gonna milk them out for bigger tips.
Yeah,
it's zero interest. It's
just like a strip club when you get someone like, oh my God, your biceps are big. You look so good. And you're like, oh, you tip more. So I've heard, but that's the same thing almost, but not to that degree.
So let me ask you this: we got rid of tip culture. Prices will go up on food. Is that going to stop people from going to restaurants?
Prices are already going up on food. We were talking about this over the weekend.
I mean, restaurants are already expensive as it is. I mean, if they still have to jack up the prices even more for food,
I think they jack it up because of the minimum wage. When minimum wage goes up like this, you have to pay your servers. Before you pay you pay your servers, it's like a 1099 employee almost.
Mm-hmm.
You're not making any money until you get a table and you get tips.
Right.
That's how you make your money, and we make our money off of you. But if you have to pay them a bigger minimum wage instead of $2.13, then you're gonna be like, okay, well, this $10 steak is now $12. This $10 burger is now $12.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, we're gonna start charging for ranch.
Mm-hmm.
The little things like that. And the soda is like $4 for a soda. Like, come on.
Mm-hmm.
A fountain drink, like that is one of the
It's already
cheapest
there, and
things.
there's still a lot of these restaurants still get a huge crowd coming in. I mean, if we get rid of tip culture, I think the ones that won't survive are the mom and pop shops, right?
Yeah, we talked
Because
about
they
that.
depend on the cheap labor.
Yeah, not just that. It's just you have a mom and pop shop. That owner's there majority of the time.
Mm-hmm.
And they're the ones. And we talked about how restaurants already work on a thin margin. I mean, you raise up minimum wage, they can't have employees. They're gonna have to work longer hours and do more of the work, or get their kids in there and have their kids help them. But
And then those mom and pop shops, like, well, the only way I can afford these servers now is to raise the cost of my food, and not enough people know about me, and then come in, they're like, wow, these prices are expensive, I'll just go to my Texas Roadhouse.
yeah, but there's two sides to the story. I was trying to come in with this tip culture thing that we had a lot of response, a lot of positive. What we talked about, a couple of negatives, which got me thinking. Like, I see your side of the story, I really do, but if there's no service done, why do we have to tip?
I think most of the positive reactions are the people who are saying, like, okay, if you're not a server who's giving me constant attention, if you're just someone who just turns the pad around expecting a tip, I have zero desire to give you a tip. You didn't give me much of a service. All you did was just talk to me. So what? Everyone else I talked to, I was supposed to tip them?
All you did is take my order.
So that was where your positive reaction. I think most of your negative reactions were people who did not really listen to the video. They just wanted to make noise.
Or just saw the short.
They didn't really see the short. They just saw maybe the headline of the short, like tip culture, and they got mad. Like, don't go to the restaurant. I was like, dude, we weren't talking about that.
No, it's completely different. We weren't talking about a restaurant. Restaurant, you should tip. If you go to a restaurant, if you go into a walk-in restaurant where you sit down and you get service, you should tip. I always, even if it's bad service, usually give 15%. It has to be horrendous service for me to do like 10.
Yeah.
But I never leave zero. Just because I've been a server, I've been in those shoes, I know how it feels. I normally tip 20%. Normally. If it's above, like, they blow me away, I'll do 25, 30. If they blow me away. Like, I'm talking like every time I had a dirty plate, every time my drink was always filled, like, they were on it. And I would do 25 to 30 if they were on it. And like the rest of my family or the group I'm with, we all had a great experience. So you deserve a tip.
So now, after that's been said, minus the servers, now we're talking about everyone else who wants a tip, right?
Yes. Now we're talking about everyone else that's not in that service industry where you're interacting with me and you're dependent on me because of your service. These people that, like, someone got on me about going to the pizza place and not leaving a tip for carryout. Like, I drove here, I ordered this pizza. Like, why do I have to tip?
Yeah, I've had that happen to me. Like, I ordered pizza. I was gonna pick it up. Went there. I'm not gonna name the pizza place, but I'll tell you off air. I went there, picked up my pizza and wings. They expected a tip. I was like, for what? Like, I came here using my own vehicle and gas, picked up my food, and I paid what was required out of me, and I'm leaving.
Yeah.
Are you giving me constant attention?
Sitting down.
Right?
You're not going to wipe a table after that.
Yeah, I'm not sitting down. I'm throwing away my own trash, throwing away all the waste food. Yeah.
There's no plates, no silverware. You're not doing anything. You're just giving me this food that I bought that you sell.
So when I used to work in retail, like Best Buy, every customer who comes in to check out, should I expect a tip because I interacted with them? Yeah, it's like, hey, you brought your own, you went out, shopped the merchandise, brought it to me, I checked you out, okay, now give me a tip.
But they do the tip. We talked about this.
What, Best Buy?
Best Buy or any of these places. Would you like to donate $1 to?
No, that's different. That's a different conversation about the donation thing.
I know, but it's kind of like a tip, but not a tip. No. It's kind of like, hey, we want your money. But I get what you're saying.
I mean, but yeah, you get my saying. Like, okay, so if it's not food related, then it's okay to be like, no, don't ask for a tip. But if you're working at a food area and all you did was take the order, you can expect a tip. Like, what is this?
Like Starbucks. Like,
yeah, we're going full circle on this again.
Yeah, like, but my daughter wanted Starbucks, and I got her a drink, and it was $6. I almost fucking threw up.
I stopped going to Starbucks.
I was like, but I got it to her as a treat. She did something good at school. $6. I was
for a cup of coffee, right?
No, it was not coffee. It was just like a Kool-Aid drink. Something you can make at home. Like, it's crazy. Dude, it's called a refresher. I mean, they're good, but it's like,
because it has a bunch of sugar in it. That's why.
A ton of sugar, I bet. But it's like $6. Like, no, I didn't leave a tip. Sorry, I didn't leave a tip. You know, it's like, it's crazy to me. Thanks for watching our clip. If you want to see more clips like this and you like our views, like the show, click here for some more clips. If you want to hear the whole podcast, watch the whole podcast, click here for the whole podcast. Remember, like, subscribe, hit the notification bell, and we'll get back to you. Thank you, and have a great day.